So, despite LawTube having basically only been created in the past few weeks, it's already got itself caught up in a lot of drama, all stemming from one moment and one screenshot basically. This moment right here. Who is this guy? Well, he is one of the many lawyers who have now risen to fame throughout the Johnny Depp trial called DUI Guy, and he is in a bit of drama with another legal lawyer YouTuber called Legal Bytes. And they both have actually publicly said that the beef is now squashed, but this is basically what went down. During the cross-examination of an ex-employee of TMZ, Amber Heard's lawyer Elaine had a bit of a mic drop moment thrown on her by the ex-employee. She implied that he was doing this for his 15 minutes of fame, and he threw back that he could easily say the same about her because she'd taken on Amber Heard as her client. And as a result, basically everyone watching had the same expression on their face as DUI Guy. I mean, even Depp's lawyer Ben Chew seemed to be reacting pretty much in the same vein, and Legal Bytes herself did too. And as a result of DUI Guy making this face, it did go semi-viral with a lot of people sharing it and saying how funny it was. And as a result, Legal Bytes sent DUI Guy a DM saying that she didn't want him coming on her after show where they discussed everything that had gone on throughout the day during the trial. DUI Guy received this live on air, and we'll go through all of those clips now. But we'll just go back to where it all began, the moment where Uncivil Law resent Legal Bytes the clip so they could kind of all look at it together and point out what they thought to be inappropriate reactions from DUI Guy in the court.
I wonder if it might be possible to play the clip I posted in private chat, because I think the audience's reactions are interesting.
So
Whose
good.
video is it? I just
This
want
is
to make sure I
mine.
don't get a copyright claim on.
It's mine. Well, it's a
It's on
clip
your
of
channel?
us, so it's yours.
It's clipped. It's your clip. It's clipped
yours.
of you.
Are
Alita.
you going to
you.
strike yourself, Alita?
On whose channel is it?
It's on your channel. It's a
Oh,
clip.
okay.
Your
well,
channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
doesn't matter.
guys.
Now, Rob, will that bind a juror from wanting to come out directly by themselves voluntarily?
No, it won't, because the jury is actually not subject to this particular order.
Okay.
Alrighty. Do you want me
Now,
to play it?
Yeah. Turn on the audio and watch the audience. See if LawTube has some thoughts about this clip.
Okay.
So already Kurt and Civil Law is priming Aaliyah, Legal Bytes, to kind of be a bit outraged by all of this. So I think he was kind of happily stirring the pot a bit.
You know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame. doesn't it?
Objection, Your Honor, argumentative.
I can ask that question. Oh, ruled.
So
I mean, he did
stand to gain
laugh.
nothing from this. I'm actually putting
How's
myself
that overruled?
kind of in the target of TMZ,
There
a
you
very
go.
litigious
Good answer.
organization.
This is
and
great
I'm not
commentary, I have
seeking
to say.
any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you. Wholeheartedly.
So even in that clip you can hear that they all had the same reaction as DUI Guy live as well. So for them now to be calling him out on it seems a bit ridiculous. I get that he's in there live and their original claims, or at least concerns with that, it could affect the jurors. But to be honest, everyone in the courtroom had that same reaction. Even Ben Chew, look.
Wholeheartedly.
So for Aaliyah to be saying that it was DUI Guy's probable influence over the jury, which is why she was upset with him, doesn't really make that much sense because, as you can see, even Depp's lawyer himself had the same reaction.
I find that to be purely logical.
Now, are you aware that
Ben
Mr.
Chew,
Depp
like,
All right.
End of clip.
Fun.
I thought the DUI guy might have some thoughts regarding this piece of testimony. Maybe he'd like to comment more about it at some point in the future. Just, really subtle reaction. Not sure he picked up on it. But,
Yeah, it's
he
very
seems to have some
YouTuber with a
thoughts.
red arrow somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that is one of those things about having cameras in the courtroom. And you can also sometimes pick up the audience reactions.
And to be fair, initially she didn't seem as bothered as Uncivil Law was. He was clearly egging her on to make some sort of comment, but yeah, he seemed way more bothered than she did initially. And from this point on, things start to come out of the woodworks. Good Logic asks Aaliyah if he can send James from court, who was with DUI Guy for the majority of everything that went down and was also in that screenshot, if he can send James from court the link so that he can jump on stream with them. And he basically gets denied. This is the clip.
From a transcript, we could have muffins in each of the seats.
Yeah.
We get a little model muffin courtroom.
Yes.
Alita.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It's all coming together.
Alita, can I give the link to James from court?
We gotta talk backstage.
Okay.
Um.
Because there was just a super chat 10 seconds ago saying he was looking for it.
Okay.
That's-
He does have the link up. We'll talk backstage.
My
Cecilia,
apologies.
that's okay. Cecilia Reed says, what could happen with AH attorneys?
So she swiftly went on to read that super chat, and by now people were kind of picking up that something wasn't quite right. And so when everyone was then in DUI Guy's live stream waiting for him to join as he had done every other night, this was his reaction to a DM that he'd received from Aaliyah Legal Bytes.
Or to add, let's see if we can get somebody from the LawTube community in the chat, or not in the chat, excuse me. What am I saying? Okay. You do realize that my reaction was not intentional. Yeah. Wait a minute. So it's interesting. One of the LawTubers stated, I'm not going to say who it was, said that they don't want to have us on stream today because of our natural reactions. Okay, all right. There you go. LawTube drama. I don't know. Whatever. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. I don't know. Maybe in the abundance of caution. But even still, I think they're just pussyfooting around. They're just not sure. This is somebody who probably doesn't quite understand how this game is played. We never do stuff just for the sake of attention. That's just stupid.
So DUI Guy goes on to speculate that maybe she doesn't want him on because she's thinking he's done that face reaction purposely for attention, or that hoping that he would go viral, which he says is stupid. And he explains why he was sat exactly where he was, because it was the perfect thing, so he could see both the witness, the judge, the person who was actually conducting the questions, as well as the whole jury. So he goes on to explain that's why he was sat exactly then. It wasn't some type of malicious scheme to go viral, and he's just a bit confused by everything. However, other people, as well as Aaliyah, she goes on to explain in her somewhat kind of apology video, which wasn't really an apology video that's now removed, that she didn't want reactions like this to be associated with the legal community as a whole on YouTube, because she'd grown rapidly and she didn't want anything bad to kind of hamper or damage that prospect of it keeping that growth up. In the apology video, she kind of cites that her main reason for sending that DM to DUI Guy was that she didn't want any reactions like that of the audience to affect the jurors' decisions in the outcome of the trial. And so the judge had asked specifically for everyone in the courtroom to behave a certain level of decorum that she felt the DUI Guy wasn't maintaining, and she said that she'd, quote, sent him there, so she felt it reflected badly on her and her channel. However, other people have also pointed out that just by her kind of saying that she sent him there isn't really accurate, because he'd gone there of his own volition and had spent all of his own money and time and energy doing everything around the court. So yeah, that didn't quite make sense. But I will also say that there have been other things that people have pointed out as to potentially why it's like a culmination of things that have led her to not want him on her channel, because he actually did say that he could see some of the stuff that was on Amber Heard's lawyer's laptop, and he did actually go on to talk about that live. And as a lawyer, you'd think he'd probably know better.
I think what got him also into trouble was looking at laptops of lawyers. Somehow he accidentally looked at Heard's lawyer's laptop while it was public. That's patently unprofessional, highly unethical, very illicit.
Did he
DUI guy did and talked about it. So he got himself on attention. He kept accidentally getting in the middle of controversy. Like I said, I've had a lot of experience with DUI lawyers. There's not a single one I would ever trust. That doesn't mean I wouldn't hire them. Some of them are Better Call Saul skilled, but they make Better Call Saul look like a beacon of ethics. Just being honest.
So I did not know about the peeking on the laptops and reporting on it.
Yeah. And apparently there's a sequence of issues. Apparently court staff had expressed concern about a wide range of conduct about disclosure. So I think he was on Heard's radar, Heard's PR team's radar for illicit reasons, because as you note, he had a reaction that a lot of people did when the lawyer asked a dumb question and got smacked back with the answer of the TMZ witness. But he was also in controversy for a bunch of other things he kept doing. Now, I don't care about the dispute as a general rule, except to the degree courts are paying attention, and courts might start limiting camera access because they will not like. Some courts will look at what DUI guy did and think he did it deliberately, or think other people will want to do it deliberately, even if he didn't.
And I think that
so
was
that,
also
that people
a way
will be
for a lot of
mugging
people
for the
that
cameras.
a judge could see
Like
what
the already
these
the excuse in
reactions were
federal
doing in
courts
terms
is
of causing
the
public
lawyer.
frenzy around a case and not allow cameras in for the future. Or, like this lawyer has gone on to say, cause people to go into the court and pull these faces on purpose to try and go viral. But anyway, Aaliyah then went on her live saying that they weren't going to have a normal stream, which would have had DUI guy on, and Law and Lumber, Rob, and Hoag's Law was also kind of holding that same sentiment that they felt the DUI guy had done some wrong. And to be fair, Law and Lumber, Rob, actually works in that courthouse. So if people had been speaking about DUI guy's lack of decorum and actions in the courtroom, you know, it does kind of maybe reflect badly on Rob if he's associating with DUI guy as a professional lawyer. It could hamper his career and his livelihood. So if people potentially had spoken to Rob as a person and as a lawyer, and then he'd reflected that sentiment back to Aaliyah, I don't doubt that would have had some influence on her decision to say that she didn't want DUI guy on that evening. And if that was the case, that people actually in the courtroom had noticed other behaviour, that isn't actually that unfair of a decision to say that she didn't want him to come on. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's her decision anyway, but it does seem a bit petty.
We are live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am coming in without the normal intro because at first I want to just say a few things. I know that there has been a lot of chatter out there on the interwebs. That's the only reason why I'm going to address something first before we actually go live, is because, you know, we've gotten a lot of comments from some folks about some stuff that's going on. I just want to say that when it comes to our trial streams, we have a lot of fun. We share memes. We sometimes, you know, make impressions. We sing songs and all that kind of stuff. But do not be fooled. Like we have a lot of fun. We don't take ourselves seriously, but we do take the process of the judicial system, the court system, very, very seriously. And we take court rules also very, very seriously. So I wanted to make a statement about that. When we are sending folks into the courtroom, we have a hope, an expectation, a hope that folks are going to be following the rules of the courtroom. Because if they don't, and then word gets out that they are connected to certain live streams, certain folks, certain communities, that can reflect very poorly on the entire community. And especially if that does not reflect the standards that you want to be showing, that is problematic. So there are certain rules of conduct within the courtroom, and there are reasons for those rules, and we take those rules very seriously. The reason being that, first off, this stuff is open to the public. It's open to the public, and with that comes a responsibility from the public not to try to, or to try not to impact the outcome of the case. And so with that, there are rules of conduct, like I said. Certain things that can happen that can impact the jury, which can impact the outcome, and that can come back to haunt everyone that is connected to that conduct. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything, Rob, if you want to add anything as a local litigator that works out of the courtroom.
I mean, to people that are here and people that are watching, I've been practicing law for more than 10 years, and I've been trying cases in this courthouse for more than 10 years. And I have been very proud at how this proceeding has been run. It's been incredible. It's been orchestrated wonderfully. And it was a big risk for the judge to allow media access in a case of this profile into the courtroom. And she did that on certain conditions. I mean, she issued an order that's available on the website that says spectators are to maintain proper decorum. They're not to give reaction. They're not to say anything. I mean, she basically has a rule in place that if you pull your cell phone out in that courtroom, you're getting booted. I almost said yeeted, and that made me uncomfortable for a second.
Checks out.
Yeah. So it was a big risk for the judge to do that. And with that risk comes a great reward. And that reward is that we get this opportunity. Me, a 10-year practitioner, gets this opportunity to explain what would otherwise be a remarkably complicated issue and complicated legal proceedings in a way that you guys can digest it. I mean, that's not something that we get all the time. There are things that lawyers refer to as trials of the century. These are things that are huge issues that we just wish we could explain to everybody out there in a way that you guys can understand it. And this is that chance, and we take that really seriously. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it.
Yeah. And another thing about the live streams that we are doing here is that the purpose is, of course, to entertain and to have fun, but also to really educate and inform. And with a live stream covering this kind of a case with this kind of media coverage, we also have gotten our own share of commentary from other people looking at us. And we have also pushed back on this narrative that all live streams covering this trial are doing it to sensationalize and to turn it into a cheap circus entertainment. And we are not about that. That is something that those of us who have been on this panel have felt quite strongly about. Although we do have fun with it, we very much respect the process of the court system and the rules that come out of that. So yes, that's basically.
And the folks that have visited on my channel know exactly what you're talking about. We got a lot of coverage for all of us doing these kinds of things. And that means we're under a microscope, and we're going to do our damnedest, I know from me, to be better and to do it right.
Yep. That's all. That's basically it. So pretty much folks that are going to be showing up on the live stream are people that are going to be hopefully understanding that. Anyhow, that's about all I have to say. Do you guys have anything else that you want to say about that?
No, I'm looking forward to hearing you say YouTube-y stuff.
YouTube-y stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Subscribe, all the above.
That's all that we're going to say about that. I know that there have been a lot of questions that people have been giving about certain stuff. We're not going to comment on any further. If anybody sends any super chats about it, I'm sorry that they're going to be ignored because we're not going to comment any further.
Yeah, we don't need drama.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. There's no drama there.
Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. There's plenty of drama. All right, with that, I'm gonna pull up the intro, and that's gonna be about it. Okay. I'll say.
So yeah, that's basically all of the drama, and you should have some idea now of what the hell's been happening, because it's been a bit difficult to try and work out. A lot of people are trying to just get it all squashed and stuff, which I understand, but that means no one's talking about it. And so people are kind of only having half of the story here and there and snippets from other people who potentially could be biased and stuff, and there's no really kind of one video that I've seen put all of this kind of context together. So if that's helped you out, just leave a like or a comment saying what you thought about everything, whether you thought it was petty, whether you thought legal Bytes was in the right to say to DUI that you didn't want him on, or anything else, and maybe give me some ideas for what other videos you want to see. So thanks if you've made it to the end, and thank you again just for watching. So hopefully see you around, see you in the next one, and see you next time. Bye!